Hello guys, my name is Alpha. Today we'll be talking about this Ayaka freeze comp, which a lot of people have been running in the Spiral Abyss. It's very strong. It's currently one of the best comps in the game because of the freeze mechanic, which is really overpowered. So first of all, let's talk about how the comp works. So what we're taking advantage of is Ayaka's Sometsu, which is her burst, which has a very high scaling. If you can see, 202% for the normal hits, and at the end you do a big 303%. So how do you take advantage of this is, if you look at Ayaka real quick, I currently have a crit rating of 52.8%. Oh my gosh, she's talking. So I have 52.8% crit, which is a lot, but as you can see later, I won't be hitting crits every time. It's a 50-50 basic. So to increase the amount of times I can crit, we will use the artifact set, the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. Basically increases the crit rate by 20%. If it's affected by cryo, which definitely will, and additional 20% if it's frozen. So you're already 40% here. So if you were to add my crit rate right now, it's gonna be 92%. And what we're trying to also take advantage of is the resonance here. If they are affected, if they're frozen, you get another additional crit rate by 15%. So in total, from artifacts and from resonance, you get 55%. So I'm well over 100% crit rate at that point, right? Okay, to show you how important making sure Ayaka freeze works, I will be showcasing the damage for Ayaka's burst against frozen targets and against non-frozen targets. So to show that it's just purely Ayaka, Mona is currently running the Widsif, so there's no Trilling Tales or Dragon Slayer, although it's very recommended, and we'll be running the 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Harp Depths. There's no increase of Ayaka's damage there. Okay, so this one does 20% elemental burst damage, but it should be the same. So like I said, I will not be using Diona Burst, I'll not be using Venti Burst, so it's just going to be Mona for freeze and Ayaka. To start things off, I'll just show you Ayaka's normal damage without freeze. So we're doing 1, 2, 7, 4, 6, which is already pretty high. As you can see, there's the 5,000 damage right there at the end, which can definitely be improved. Okay, so now I'll show you her damage when the people are frozen and whether it's better for them to be frozen or not. So I will use essentially let's cry. As you can see, I'm doing much more 1, 6, 1, 5, 1. Of course, this guy wasn't frozen, but I pretty much did more damage with Mona's ultimate plus Ayaka's ultimate rather than just Ayaka, right? Alright, so moving on to artifacts and weapons, how you should be giving each character in the Morgana team comp. Let's start with Ayaka herself. I really recommend the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. It's so good, you really just can't go wrong with this set at all, especially in the freeze comp. If you don't have the Blizzard Strayer set complete, I recommend you just farm it because there's no other better set. Substitute sets while farming can be, you can go for Noblesse, which gives you the elemental burst, so when you use the Sometsu, or you could go for gladiators for more attack, or Shimenawa similarly, 2-piece each for more attack. But the most important one is Blizzard Strayer. You need to at least have 2 pieces of this while farming for the other pieces, right? Now for the weapons, the best weapon in slot is the Mist Splitter Reforge. I'm very lucky that I got it. Not only does it give crit damage, which is really good for freeze comps because you don't need crit rate at all. It also gives a lot of damage to your... it will really boost your elemental damage in general, so this is why the Mist Splitter is really good. Other weapons can be like the Jade Cutter, which is really good, Summit Shaper, any 5-star weapon. For 4-star options, I really recommend the Flute, which is really good, the new 4-star sword from Inazuma, the Kageuchi or something like that. I don't really have the weapon with me, so yeah, I don't really know what's called. But yeah, so those are some substitutes. I think the best is the Flute for 4-star, right? Or the Black Cliff from the shop. For the other characters, for my team, I'm going for a Noblesse Oblige for my Diona. The reason why I run Diona in this comp, or why you should run Diona, is number 1, she provides healing, so she's really good, right, in that perspective. And number 2, she was the one who's going to be running the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. So this increases your attack. Later on, when I talk about rotations, I will show you why Noblesse is very important. For her weapons, of course the best is the sacrificial bow. I don't think you should run anything else. This weapon is really good because you allow more particles to funnel into Ayaka if you're really lucky with the skill. Of course, if yours is higher refinement, this is very high chance to, get back more particles. For Mona, she's running the 2-piece supplies and 2-piece Heart of That. I really recommend 4-piece Emblem if you're playing Mona in this team, because Emblem is really good on Mona. Unfortunately, I don't have enough artifacts for her at the moment. Also, if you're not running Diona, if I talk about substitutes later on, maybe if you have Mona, you can run the 4-piece Noblesse instead. But in general, you want at least one member to run the 4-piece Noblesse so that it really significantly boosts Ayaka's damage. For her weapons, I'm actually using the Widsith, which increases her damage. However, if you don't have the Widsith at high refinements like I do, you can run TTDS, which is very good, the Trilling Tails. It really boosts her damage, so the combo later on I will show you how to run Mona in the freeze combo. And the last character I use, which is a flex slot, I use an Anemo character. Venti is probably the best for me. The reason why is he actually pulls people with his ultimate, which is very strong. And not only that, he provides the Viridescent Venerer buff, which is also very strong. For Venti's weapons, you can pretty much run anything. I recommend Stringless, however, Elegy of the End is also pretty strong for him. Now, let's talk about substitutes. If you don't have all these characters, which I don't blame you if you don't have it, there are a lot of substitutes. The main requirement is you need at least 1 Hydro and 1 Cryo for Ayaka. So you need at least these 3 characters. This is a very flex slot right here. You don't really need Venti. For Hydro characters, the best in my opinion is Mona, but you can run other Hydro characters like Barbara. She kind of works. Xingqiu also is really good because the rain source actually apply Hydro pretty quickly. So if you have a lot of Cryo characters, you can just run Xingqiu there as well. It's pretty strong. The new 5-star Kokomi is also very strong. It's similar to Mona and it provides healing, right? You can run 4-piece Noblesse on her and that makes your Cryo slot, which is the battery for Ayaka, another flex slot. So now for the Cryo substitutes, Diona is the best. But however, if you don't have her, it's fine. Other good characters are like Kaya. He can apply Cryo really fast, and his talent right here, the Frost Dog, gives a lot of particles back as well. So it's similar to Diona. But if you're running Kaya, you should get this. You should try to use the Sacrificial Sword, which I am not using because it's currently on Xingqiu. But you should use this so they can get more particles for Ayaka. Other substitutes, Chongyun is actually pretty good, despite how he looks. That's mainly because of his Layered Frost, which is his E, right? His skill. Actually, it reduces the cryo res at this level, at this talent level, which I don't have. So if you're invested in Chongyun, you can run it with the Ayaka comp. Another character notable is Rosaria, because of her crit rate right here. So if you're really liking crit rate, you can't just put Rosaria in. One character that a lot of people don't think you can run is Ganyu. Ganyu is actually really good in the freeze comp because her burst does a constant implies cryo constantly in the area. So you can run something like Mona, Ganyu, Venti, the full whale team. They pretty much cannot move. For the flex slot, I recommend a Nemo character. You don't have to run it. You can run a 3rd cryo or a 2nd hydro applier as well. It's really up to you. But Nemo characters are very strong. So Venti is very strong. If you don't have Venti, Sucrose. If you have Kazuha, you can definitely use him. I don't recommend Sayo and Jin, however, they're not really too good in this freeze comp at all. Okay, so now for rotations, I will be showing this in Abyss, which is a lot easier for me because I don't have to get my burst back all the time. But as you can see from previously shown, I will be running Venti Viridescent. Mona, I put the Trilling Tails on her this time. Diona with Noblesse and Ayaka. So I'll show you the rotation real quick. First we're going to use Venti to apply Iridescent. Now we have Cryo in. We're going to use Mona for TTDS. And Ayaka burst at the very end. You can see we're doing 21k very easily right there. Okay, so for cons, one very notable con is in the Spiral Abyss right now, there's a boss called the Makukenki, which you literally can't freeze. So if I were to try to freeze him right now, so I applied Hydro, and now I'm gonna apply Cryo, he's frozen. But he's actually not frozen. The other major con, as you can see right now, is if you don't have your bursts up, it's very hard to play this comp because you need to funnel a lot of bursts, not only for Ayaka, but for Diana for Luis, Mona for her TTDS. Of course, you don't have to farm Mona at all, but it's good to farm it, right? So those are the two major cons of this comp. Other than that, there's no other con other than it being, you know, pretty expensive for the most ideal comp because you need a lot of 5 stars. Okay, so for those of you wondering, should you invest in this comp? My opinion is if you have Ayaka and you have like any other Cryo or Hydro characters to spare, you should definitely invest in this comp. It's very strong. It makes Spiral Blitz look so easy because the opponents are pretty much frozen and you're doing a lot of damage, right? So as long as you have Ayaka, you should definitely invest in this comp. If you don't have Ayaka, maybe in the future rerun, you should try to pull for her. This comp is very strong and it will pretty much stay for a very long time as the meta. Of course, there are other very strong comps that I will be covering maybe in the future. If you like to see more fun comps, I can also do it in the future as well. So with that, I will give this comp an overall rating of 9.5 out of 10 in my opinion. It's not full 10 because not all enemies can be frozen, so that really hinders your damage. But other than that, this comp is very good. Thanks guys for watching, and please leave a like and comment what other comps you want me to go through. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Thanks.